When you get into this industry, one of the first things that you're looking at is what camera do I buy? What lens shall I get next? What's the best this, that, the other? You're always thinking, what shall I buy next? And I get it. In my case anyway, I didn't want to make the wrong decisions. I didn't want to buy things too quickly and regret having to buy them, then selling them, then end up losing money. All of that stuff, I didn't want to go through that. So I always wanted to make sure I made the right decision. So now that I've been creating content and been in the space for a few years, there's a few things that I do wish I had bought sooner or just not cheaped out on, a few things that I do wish I properly invested in when I first started. And the first one is a good quality light. Lighting is one of the most key components when it comes to filmmaking. Depending on how you're trying to use this light will determine the mood or feeling that you're trying to invoke. Just the intensity of the light being used can make an overall difference on the atmosphere in your film. For example, if you want to portray happiness and joy, you might use a high-key lighting setup, which is a lot brighter of a scene, not so much shadows, low contrast, and the whole thing is just generally brighter. But on the other hand, if you're trying to create something moody, maybe a horror film, quite scary, there's a lot more shadows, a lot more harsh lighting, a lot more deep pockets of just darkness, which you wouldn't get in that same happy scene. So me personally, I recommend having at least one big ass light, something that's at least 200-300 watts, and preferably if it can be manipulated by a modifier. One of the main reasons why you'd want a powerful light, simply just to counteract the uncontrollables. There are times when the sun's in the background, there's windows, there's something that's in the background that is brighter than the actual scene. So if you're able to stop down on your camera and then put the light in and counteract that light, you have much more control in what you're able to do and the looks you're trying to create. For myself, I've been using the Nanlite Forza 300 for the longest time, but recently I've been using the Amran 200X. So one, it's bicolor, and two, it's just as bright. It says 200, but I don't know what Amran are doing around there, but they have some powerful ass lights. I do recommend the Amran more than the Forza 300 just because it's one, it's so portable, two, it's app control. I don't know why Nanlite made the whole thing of the external radio, whatever. Amran, yeah, they know what they're doing. The next item is a microphone. Yes, it's quite boring, but audio is one of the most important things when you are creating content. In a lot of cases, it's actually more important than the visual side, because if you look at this, if the quality is not great, you can still watch this fine. It may not be crisp 4K anymore, but you can still watch it. But if the audio just sounds terrible, it literally hurts your ears and you struggle to be able to watch anything that's like that. So choosing the right mic is a little bit more tricky because there are so many different types of mics that you can get. You can get a shotgun mic, a lav mic, a condenser mic, all these different mics that are great for different situations. For 80% of the stuff that I do personally, I use a shotgun. For all of my YouTube stuff, all of my workout videos, all of my documentaries, 90% of it is filmed on a shotgun mic. But there are times I do need to stick some mics, obviously. I do need to stick some lav mics on them because maybe I'm too far away, maybe there's different conversations going, or they are going to be turning away from the camera. Because with these shotgun mics, if you're talking away from the mic, you can instantly hear the difference when you're not in that direct path, because shotgun mics are very directional. If you aren't talking in that direction, the audio won't be crisp. So there are times where you need an omnidirectional mic where you do have a lav. That doesn't really matter if the person's talking up here or down here or up here, you can hear them clearly. The shotgun mic I've used for I think 2 or 3 years now, and I still recommend to this day, is the Sennheiser MKE 600, and the lav mics I'd recommend are DJIs. I think they're a little bit better than the Rhodes, but the difference is very minuscule, so just go with something that is in your budget. Now this is one that is often slept on because it's so easy and cheap to get a normal hard drive, but please stop shooting yourself in the foot by editing off of your slow hard drives. SSD, solid state drives, have no moving parts, and because of this, they allow you to read and write so much quicker. So if you don't have much space locally on your computer, you'll need to get an external storage solution. Most people do get a normal hard drive because, again, they are cheap, they can get quite a lot of memory for the price. However, if you're trying to edit off them, it's going to be very slow, because when you are editing off these external hard drives, your computer has to pull every single clip one by one onto the computer so you can edit. So a lot of times if you're struggling in your editing software and it's slow, it might not be your computer, it might be because you are on a slow hard drive. If you have an SSD, however, especially if you're using 4K, 8K clips, you need one because it's so much faster. The read and write speeds are ridiculously fast on these SSDs compared to the hard drives. So I personally have a process where I edit all of my projects directly on my laptop. Now, if the project is massive and there's loads of files, then I will use an external hard drive, but I'll make sure it's an SSD. Then once I finish the project, I will archive it on a hard drive, something slower, but once I'm finished with it, I don't really need that speed anymore. But when I'm editing, it just takes so much longer if you're using a hard drive. Even with export times, if you want your export times to speed up, export onto something that can read and write very fast. It just makes your life so much easier, and yeah, you won't regret it. Now, this next thing is something I neglected for a very long time, as I just didn't think I needed it, but once you go there, you can never come back, and that is having a very good quality sound system. Now, that could be headphones or speakers, whichever one works for you. You just need to make sure you have something where you can listen to audio very, very clearly. Don't always trust the speakers on your laptop or the built-in speakers to a monitor, because they're just not as good. Having a good set of headphones is vital if you're often on the go or editing in different places. But if you do have a whole setup and you're often sat at a desk editing, a good set of speakers works just as well. So regardless of which option you're using, you want to make sure you hear the details accurately, whether it's adjusting the music levels, removing the background noise, adding sound design, all these different things that you do need to hear the audio as crisp as possible for. And if, like me, you go down the headphones route, please make sure you get a pair with good noise cancellation, because it makes a world of difference of blocking the world out and keeping the focus in. And the last and not least is a good platform to source your music from. Music is the biggest invisible storyteller. It has the power to emotionally manipulate you without you even seeing anything. Take this for example. If I play this music of me walking down the street, you kind of think I'm doing some sort of skit, some sort of joke. Instantly that music makes you think something comedic is happening. Did I tell you something comedic was happening? Did I show you or give any indication that I was going to do something comedic? No. Just from the song alone, you think something funny is going on. So when you're choosing a music service provider, one, you want to make sure you have a good, high quality music. Music that sounds real, it's not just royalty-free music. Two, you want to make sure that it's easy to find the music. The worst thing to do on a project is when you're looking for hours just trying to find the right song, just because it's hard to find what songs are listed as what, find the different genres, the different mood, all these different things that just make it difficult to find the song you want. And three, it's not integral, but it does make your whole job a lot easier when you can customize the music that you're downloading. When an artist creates a song, they're not making that song for your videos. Your videos often have to find a song that works. This is why in Hollywood movies, they always get composers to create something that perfectly fits. A lot of the time, we don't have that kind of budget. We don't have that kind of resources. We just have to kind of work for what we got. So this is why I personally use Track Club, because I'm able to edit the songs that I do download. Track Club is a music licensing software that one, obviously provides high quality music, and two, allows you to customize your music really specifically. They have this feature called Mix Lab where you're able to dissect the different parts of a song. So you could mute or solo the drums from a song, you can get the bass, you can get the melody, all the different parts of a song, but you can do this on the platform. I've used a similar feature before where you have the stems, but then you end up having a massive timeline of all these different tracks of the song. But using this Mix Lab feature, you can customize it on the website. So you don't have to worry about downloading loads of different stems. You can just have it all customized, perfectly made, and then download that one track and put it into your timeline. So if you are looking to try a new music licensing platform, be sure to hit the link down below. Now, this video isn't sponsored. They're not asking me to say this. This is something I personally use and would recommend, so I'm proudly sharing it. So those are the 5 things that I wish I prioritized more when I was first getting started. I have left links below of all the items that I have listed. Try, if you can, not to cheap out on these things, because they do make a world of difference. But that's pretty much it. So with that being said, if you have got a lesson, laugh, or light bulb moment from this video, I'd really appreciate if you drop a like down below. And if you're feeling extra nice, you could hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. See ya.